They lied about your eggs, labeled them organic, called them farm fresh. But what you're cracking open each morning, it's a chemical-soaked, bacteria-loaded lie, sold to you with a smile. Inside those shells, filth, fraud, and disease. And the grocery stores? They've known for years. You won't just stop buying eggs after this. You'll feel sick for ever trusting that carton. They slap a label on it, organic, cage-free, farm fresh, and we believe it. But peel back the sticker, and what you find isn't a peaceful pasture. It's a warehouse of lies. Most free-range eggs sold in major grocery stores come from hens that never see the sun. Legally, all free-range means in the US is that a door exists somewhere in the facility. That's it. It doesn't mean the hens go outside. It doesn't mean they're treated humanely. And it definitely doesn't mean the eggs are clean or safe. Imagine hundreds of thousands of birds crammed into massive sheds, breathing in ammonia from their own feces, barely able to spread their wings. This is the hidden factory behind that smiling farm image on the carton. The truth? You're paying more for a story, not better eggs. And don't be fooled by organic either. Yes, the feed might be non-GMO, but organic certification says nothing about air quality, lighting, or living conditions. These hens still live miserable lives, stressed, sick, and constantly laying. And when an animal lives in stress, that stress bleeds into what it produces. Experts have quietly warned that eggs from overcrowded conditions may carry higher inflammatory compounds, even if technically clean. That means the breakfast you serve your kids with love might be fueling inflammation, allergies, or gut issues. Not because you did anything wrong, but because you were sold a lie. And the grocery stores? They know exactly where these eggs come from. They've seen the footage. They've read the reports. But why would they stop? Slapping a label on cruelty and charging a premium. That's just smart business. If you have no soul. And here's the kicker. Some of the eggs labeled farm fresh aren't even from this country. Imported in bulk. Repackaged. Relabeled. No one tells you. No one has to .so next time you open that fridge and reach for the good eggs. Remember, they don't need to show you the truth. They just need you to believe it. And if you think the shell is bad, wait until you hear what's lurking on it. Chlorine washed and bacteria-rich, they don't just lie to you with labels. They scrub the truth off the shell. In the US, every grocery store egg is washed. Not just rinsed, blasted with industrial chemicals, often including chlorine, ammonium quats, and synthetic detergents. Why? Because the environments these eggs come from are so filthy. The shells are caked in feces, feathers, and bacteria. So instead of cleaning up the farms, they sanitize the symptom. They dunk the shell in a chemical bath and call it safe. But there's a dark catch. That outer layer, the cuticle, nature's protective seal, is permanently stripped away by these washes. Once gone, the egg becomes a sponge. Anything nearby, bacteria, moisture, even cleaning residues, can seep through the shell and into the yolk. Now here's where it gets disturbing. Many countries have banned this practice. In the UK and much of Europe, it's actually illegal to wash eggs with chemicals like this. Why? Because they know it increases the risk of contamination, especially by salmonella. That's right. The US method to clean eggs may actually make them more dangerous. It's chemical hygiene. Theater, and you're the one being fooled. And who's most at risk? The ones with the weakest defenses. Infants, the elderly, anyone with autoimmune issues. Even healthy people report nausea, gut inflammation, and fatigue after eating these eggs. But no one connects the dots, because no one tells you what was done to that egg before it hit your cart. And here's the kicker. Some grocery store chains double dip. First, they buy from mass suppliers with appalling sanitation. Then they add their own wash cycles, often using bleach derivatives, to make the eggs appear whiter, cleaner, fresher. The result? An egg that looks pristine, but is silently absorbing every step of the fraud. Let that sink in. You're eating a product that other countries won't even allow on shelves. And our regulators? They approve it. Because in their world, it's cheaper to wash filth than to stop creating it.so next time you crack open a clean egg. Ask yourself, is that breakfast or a biohazard in disguise? And if you think the shell's the problem, just wait until we talk about what's hiding inside the yolk. Toxins in the yolk. The shell may fool your eyes. The label may fool your trust. But what's inside that egg? That's where the real poison hides. Most grocery store eggs come from hens raised on a steady diet of genetically modified corn and soy, laced with antibiotics, pesticides, and synthetic additives. And whatever the hen eats ends up inside the yolk. It doesn't matter how clean the shell looks. That golden center, the part we scramble, fry, and serve our kids, is a chemical sponge. It's absorbing toxins the same way it absorbs nutrients. Only now, the nutrients are residues of glyphosate, mold-contaminated grains, and feed fortified with cheap industrial fats. And the result? A yolk that may look rich, but is rich in omega-6 inflammation bombs, hormone-disrupting additives, and gut-damaging proteins. Recent quiet studies have linked these eggs to increased rates of early puberty in girls' attention and behavior issues in children, hormonal imbalances in adults, and even spikes in autoimmune flares like eczema, lupus, and chronic fatigue. But nobody tells you that in the egg aisle. Because who wants to admit that the protein powerhouse they've been pushing might be fueling disease? The kicker: eggs from hens raised on real pasture, eating grass, insects, and grains the way nature intended, have radically different yolks. More vitamin D, more omega-3s, fewer inflammatory markers, but those are rare. And the big grocery stores? They barely carry them, because real farming cuts into their profits. Instead, they flood the shelves with mass-produced eggs from hens that live in filth, eat junk, and lay toxin-loaded yolks by the thousands. And if you think the difference is small, think again that you're not just feeding yourself. You're feeding your hormones, your gut bacteria, your immune system. And when you serve these eggs to your children, you're unknowingly giving them a morning dose of the same chemicals you wouldn't eat one of those foods. What that? Because these stores know exactly what you're saying. They've seen the supply reports. They've chosen the cheaper feed, the cheaper eggs, the higher margins. And every time you buy a dozen, you're funding a system that trades your health for shelf space. For the most part, they pretend it's good for you. Next, we expose the grocery stores themselves and how they've built an empire on eggs that should never be sold. Grocery chains that look the other way. You trust the brand. You trust the aisles. You trust the illusion of safety because the grocery store feels safe. But that's the most dangerous lie of all. Behind the bright lights and air-conditioned calm, these stores are quietly partnering with some of the most abusive, deceptive egg suppliers on the planet. And they know it. They know that some of the farms use migrant labor trapped in debt bondage. They know that the cage-free labels often cover for windowless warehouses packed with suffering hens. They know that many eggs come from operations with documented sanitation violations, feces on the floors, rotting corpses in the cages, and disease spreading unchecked. But do they stop sourcing from them? No. They sign the contract, take the discount, and slap on a green, humane label like it's perfume over a corpse. That you've seen these brands: local fresh, happy farm, green pastures, all marketing, no oversight. In some cases, the store itself owns the brand, a private label designed to look ethical while cutting every cost behind the scenes. They create a fake layer of trust, then sell you filth wrapped in lies. And what's worse, they pass the blame to you. If you wanted better eggs, they imply you'd pay more. But you are paying more for packaging, for spin, for executives' bonuses, not for real food. And if someone blows the whistle, a farm employee, a vet tech, even a journalist, it gets buried. Contracts silenced. Inspections postponed. Because if the truth got out, it would shake the trust in the store's profit growth. Trust is their currency. But they're spending your health to earn it. And it's not just one store. Across the board, from bargain chains to upscale grocers, the same dirty eggs move through the supply chain, get rebranded, and end up in your fridge. Same factory, different label, same risk. Ask yourself, if a child got sick from those eggs, would the store take responsibility? If a worker was beaten for speaking out, would the CEO care? You're not just buying eggs. You're buying silence. You're buying complicity. And they're betting you'll never know the difference. But now you do. Asterisk, which egg fact hit you hardest today? Drop the number in the comments. We're watching. And if you've ever questioned the food in your fridge, share this video, because someone you love is still cracking open the lie.